Okay, I'm back with part two of my analysis of the vocalist singer Roberta Flack exit numbers. And exit number are the numbers that a soul leaves the body on. You have which completes the circle of life. The soul comes into the body. We call that your entry numbers or your life destiny. The soul lives its life in the body, and then it leaves the body. So when a soul leaves the body, it leaves a vibrational pattern of what was vital and important to the soul. See, you come in with potentiality. It's just potentiality. There is no guarantee that you're going to achieve your destiny. That's just the way life goes. The exit point reveals what you was actually was able to accomplish. And so then you can do a comparative study or a comparative analysis between the entry numbers and the exit numbers. And I'm not going to go into that right now because that might just be too much information for you, and you might not be able to absorb it all. So I don't want to overload you with too much information, but I want to give you enough information so that you can get a better understanding on how to apply a numerology in a variety of different areas. Okay, so today on part two, I'm going to take a look at her exit numbers. Those are the numbers that she left on. Okay, so she left this month, which is February, on the 24th, 2025, which created a pattern that looks like this. February the 24th, 2025. Now, as you can observe, these two energies, you have four of them. One, two, three, four. And two times four is going to vibrate on the eighth level. So in the first video, I revealed to you that she left at age 88, and I was looking to see if that eight energy played an important role in her life. And so far, the eight energy is popping up again in these four tools. Okay. Now, her number patterns is a 269 pattern that gives her an exit number of the number eight. So she left on a number eight vibrational energy. But these four twos was also a giveaway. These four twos energies are very is a very soft, sensitive, emotional, caring type of vibrational energy. But because there's so many of them, that might lead to an intensity point that might have affected her in a challenging aspect, in an emotional aspect, in a negative aspect, you understand, because they're so prevalent. And if you can recall in her name of Roberto, she had quite a few Attu's energies as well. And so that creates an intensity point that may take you into the realm of the negative aspect, meaning that she might not have been able to handle the emotional aspects of life, maybe super sensitive, maybe very overly, emotional, maybe bouts of depression, um, maybe difficulty in standing up for herself because the two energy is an energy that has a tendency to bend over a lot. And I really don't see a very strong presence of one energies moving through her exit points. Now the eight is a very powerful number, but because of the two and the six and the nine, those are all what you call internal numbers of servitude and self-sacrificing. And so even though this eight was very strong and very powerful, the nature and the personality of the individual was probably very compassionate, maybe to the point of being overly sensitive, overly emotional. Okay. Now, what else did I observe? Um, you see this eight energy, and then these four twos created another eight energy, and then in her name, um, the double eights that I saw that vibrated on the you know, it's the 34/7 vibration energy, but it was those double eights was another indicator that she was a very successful individual. That's what that eight is referring to. But the culprit, I feel, is on the sixth level. And so when I look at it this way, I went 2, 4, 6 energy right there. And then I went 2, 4, 6 energy. And then those two sixes broke down and make her three energy that I saw at the end of her birth chart, which is a 2, 1 energy, which is a three energy, which means that she was gifted as a vocalist, but professionally speaking, but on a private life, I think the sixth energy caused her a lot of concern. I believe she was married one time, and when I was doing my research, I didn't see she had any children, but she was a very strong social activist, which also, once again, will be illustrated by these twos and these sixes and these nines, because she did a lot of activist type of work. Because, like I said, she was very compassionate, she was very caring, she was a very giving type of individual, and so she was probably was very generous with her wealth in helping out different charities that she found an affinity for. But I think the sixth energy was the energy, because the sixth energy is also bends over as well. And so from what I'm observing so far is that she really didn't have a very strong, I say, uh, backbone to really, be able to withstand the onslaught of her fame and her celebrities. Okay, so that's what I see from the exit numbers. Okay, so the third part, I'm gonna take a look at her entry numbers to see if those numbers can offer me any more deeper analysis of Roberta Flack. So let's take a look at the entry numbers right quick. She was born in February, right? So if you've been following my reading, you see a number two, the number two has popped up again. Okay, which once again shows me that the intensity point was higher than it should have been. Okay, and that's definitely would indicate an individual that was very might be trouble on the emotional side of life, which could have prevented her from being in control of her emotions, and so extremely maybe sensitive, and maybe lots of bouts of depression, and so her entry numbers are she was born on February, which is a 2. She was born on the 10th. Now, that's cool. That's a one energy. That's a backbone. But could that one energy overpower all those tools? And I would have to say it's very doubtful. Very doubtful that that one energy could withstand the onslaught of all of those two energies. The two energies is equated with, if the one energy is equated with fire, then the number two energy is equated with water. Now, fire does have the potency to evaporate water, right? But water can also have the capacity to put out fire, to damper it. And this is what I'm observing, that that one energy was being dampered by all that water, all that emotional energy, all that, those, just the compassion aspect, and not, I mean, the one was strong enough to allow her to find her success, because her she left on an eight energy, and she had those double eights. So it did enough to give her enough confidence to go forward in the professional life. But I just think in the private life, the one energy really wasn't near enough where she can stand up for herself. But it was there. Okay. So she was born February the 10th in the year 1937. So let's take a look at what that looks like, just like this. Just like this. 2/10/1937. Now, I want to see if I'm observing any patterns here. So right off the bat, we spoke about that seven energy, and you see the seven energy has popped up again there. Okay? The seven energy has popped up right then again. So a very strong woman of faith, no doubt about that. She was born in the decade of the three. So music talent, boom, no problem. She achieved that level, no problem whatsoever. Now, but a concern of mine, it was 1937, and she got this one here, and those two ones, I pull them out, and there go my culprit. That number two pops up again. Just can't shake it. Just can't shake it. Okay. And then when I add 7, 3, and 9 and 2 together, boom, she pops up again. I said, oh my gosh, she can't get away from it. You see that? 7 plus 3 plus 9 plus 1 brings you to 2 energy. So the pattern's gonna look something like this. It's gonna be like a 2, 1, um, 2 energy. So the pattern's gonna look something like this. Looks like this. A 2, 1, 2, 5 pattern. Her destiny was the number 5. So meaning that the number 5 energy is an energy that likes to move around a lot. So she was a vocalist. She was very successful, and she did do a lot of traveling. But the 5 energy can also be an undisciplined type of vibrational energy as well. So that can be of a concern for me. But she left on the 8, and she came in on a 5, and the 8 and the 5 makes the 4 energy. So the 4 energy was trying to, to keep her grounded. You understand? But it's doubtful, because a 5 energy is not a grounding type of energies, and all those tools was just an onslaught from the emotional, sensitive, caring vibration, and not enough strength from the 1. So another way you can break it down is you can go 1937 plus 10 plus 1. Oh, okay. So that's gonna be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, 1954. So another way you can do is like you can just add 1937 to 10, to 2. That's 9. That's 4. Okay, so we have 1949, which is a 23 energy. which is a 5 energy, which once again, okay, here we go. You can stack them this way. Actually, this is the proper way to stack numbers. You stack them like this. You don't go horizontal. You go vertical. So you go 1937 plus 10, the day of her birth, plus 2, the month, and that's going to give you 1949. But that's going to be a 23-5. And so you see the 2 energy and the 3 energy. You don't really want to see any more twos, but here she is popping up again, and then the 3 energy is just another indicator that this 5 energy here of her destiny likes to travel, like to move around in conjunction with music, and usually that pattern, that 3-5 pattern, when you see a 3-5 pattern, it usually means success. And so the number 8 energy was very prominent in her life. Whenever you see that 3-5 pattern, which I see it um, right there. Okay, let's see what else I see in the entry numbers. Now here, this makes a very interesting pattern. Um, the 2-1-2 pattern, which gives her 5 energy. When you look at the numbers, when I break the numbers down all the way down to a singular digit. So the 2 is singular, the 10 is compound, but I break it down to the number 1, and then 1937 being a compound, I break that down to a 20 and further break it down to a 2 energy, and that gives me a 2-1-2-5 pattern. So within that 2-1-2 pattern, you see 2 plus 1 is 3, 1 plus 2 is 3, and there goes my friend again, the number 6. Now, the 2-1-3 pattern and the 1-2-3 pattern, once again, those double threes are saying that, I'm moving through life as a songstress. I'm a writer, I'm a composer, I love to sing, I can sing. Fine, no problems with that. But in a private life, I'm having difficulties on the emotional level. And so what's interesting about this 6 energy right here is I was doing my research. She was recorded with 2 famous vocalists at the time of her life. The first vocalist was his name was Donny Hathaway, and unfortunately for Donny Hathaway, he committed suicide. And I haven't taken a look at his numbers to see what the numerology can reveal to me of what drove him to committing suicide. And the second individual that she had a lot of success with, another vocalist by the name of Peabo Bryson, and that makes another 2, right? And just the other day, Peabo Bryson pretty much thought that a lot of her emotional distraught came from her failed marriage, or how that husband of hers, that spouse of hers, didn't really treat her well, maybe took advantage of her, which I felt was true, because the 2 energies not being able really to stand up for herself, and then the 6 energy, bending over or desiring to have, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Validation, which I don't think the husband gave her. So Peabo Bryson, he was a good friend of hers, and he would have a lot more information about what Roberta Flack was going through on that particular level. But for me, just looking at the numbers, the culprits was the 2s and the 6s, and both of those numbers, show the flexibility. You see how the 6 is curvy right here, and how the 2s are curvy, and you see how this one is so masculine, but the one just didn't have enough power to subdue those 2s and those 6s. Enough powers to propel her to the top of the music charts, but not enough power for her to withstand the onslaught of the scrutiny that comes when you're a celebrity. So anyhow, I can go deeper and I can tell you more, but my spirit pretty much wants me to cut it off right here because it's getting like 20 minutes. But that's my analysis of Roberta Flack, entry numbers and exit numbers, and hopefully you was able to learn a thing or two about how to take a look at a name and take a look at a person's birth numbers and try to observe different patterns that will give you insights to what's going on, within a person's inner nature. Because all of us show the world one thing and withhold from the world something else. You understand? We all wearing dual personalities, right? We'll show the world one thing, but we'll also withdraw and hold back in our inner nature. So you may not know what's really troubling the individual from within, but numerology can like reveal what's going on within a person's inner space, even though the world may see this particular aspect of a person, we don't know exactly what's going on inside of a person. So those exit numbers are good indicators of what was going on inside of that individual. So anyhow, rest in peace, my dear sister Roberta Flack, and I know you're singing with the angels. So until the next video, peace.